Right, hi guys, I'm just doing a quick deck profile. I've updated my scrap deck. It's still a scrap deck, but it's more of like a milling scrap deck, and it's very upfront. It synchros quite quickly as well. So basically I'm just going to show you the monsters first. I'll just lay them out. So that's a Treeborn, it's a Level Eater, a Gal, a Sangan, a Raikou, a Gauze. So they're the like non-scrap monsters, apart from Cyber Dragon, which I'll be showing soon. But I'll explain why I've got all of these. Treeborn is like, if I haven't got any monsters, then he's good because he's a level 1 and he can constantly come on the field if I haven't got anything on the field. Level Eater's very good because you can level eat Scrap Dragon and Scrap Twin. What else? Pretty much just Scrap Dragon and Scrap Twin, and you can just tribute that and then you just level eat them again so that you've got something on the field. Gal, again, because he's a level 3 tuner and he's very good because they've got Goyle Guardian or whatever, half their attack, even though he can't kill it, but something else can. Sangan, to be able to search for these two, and the Raikou and the Scrap Goblin, which I'll be showing you soon. Raikou, so that it's a bit of destruction, so that I can flip it, destroy them, and I can mill free and hopefully get the Scrap Beasts and the Scrap Chimeras and all that into the graveyard. You probably think it's Scrap Chimera in the graveyard, why? But you'll see why in a minute. And a Gauze for protection as well. Right, the main deck, obviously, is the free Scrap Chimera, free Scrap Beast, then it's free Scrap Goblin, and then I have two Scrap, oh that's Cyber, two Scrap Golem, and then like I said earlier, two Cyber Dragons. Right, basically these, if they're in the graveyard, I can use Monster Reincarnation, which I'll be showing you soon. Monster Reincarnation, ditch one of these guys, or possibly him as well. Ditch one of these guys, or Treeborn if I've got him in my hand, or Level Eater. Ditch them, I get them back to my hand, and I can get one of these from my graveyard to my side of the field. Scrap Beast and Scrap Goblin is pretty much the same effect. When these are in defense and you attack it and it's face down, someone attacks it, it flips, it doesn't die until the end of the battle phase. When he goes to the graveyard, I can get a scrap monster with one scrap monster basically, so either of these, from my graveyard to my hand, but apart from him obviously. This one is pretty much the same when it's face down, but when it's face up it's got 0 attack, you can see it there, but he can't die by battle. You'll take the damage, but he can't die by battle. And then Scrap Golem is pretty good as well, because his effect is very good to use. You need to try and have him in the graveyard. If you can't bring him out, then try and have him in the graveyard, because if Scrap Dragon or Scrap Twin Dragon gets destroyed by a card's effect by your opponent, then you can bring one other non-scrap synchro monster to your side of the field. So just get them. They're Dark Hole or whatever, yeah, that's fine. I'll just get Scrap Golem, use his effect to bring Scrap Beast. I can bring another Scrap Twin there and then, or Scrap Goblin, I can bring another Scrap Dragon. Cyber Dragons, just so that I've got a continuous way of having monsters onto the side of the field, and plus he's level 5. So that and that's level 8, that and that's level 9. That there is a Scrap Dragon, that there is a Scrap Twin Dragon. Okay, so basically these are just for support, and these are the main deck, which basically recuperates each other, basically. Right, so that's the monsters. Let me just move them out of the way a moment so that we've got room. Now the spells, I'll just lay them out. It's 2 Scrapyard, 3 Scrap Storm, then 2 Book of Moon, 2 Enemy Controllers, 2 Monster Reincarnation, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Cold Wave, 1 MST and 1 Reasoning. Right, let's go through. Scrapyard, very basic. I can get 1 level 4 or lower scrap tuna. Well, it doesn't have to be level 4, but that's mainly the levels. So I can get 1 scrap tuna from my deck to my hand. Pretty much simple. Scrap storm. Right, I'll just set up a little scenario just in this little corner here so that I can actually show you what it actually means. Okay, say if I've got scrap storm face down, okay, or it's in my hand, whatever, but I've got scrap storm face down and they have a cyber dragon on their side of the field. Okay, so remember that scrap storm, that's cyber dragon. I've got a scrap beast and it's 1/6 attack. I'm summoning it for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm summoning it. They go to use bottomless, I go scrap storm. Then what I do is I search through my deck, I send one scrap monster from my deck to the graveyard, which would be this lovely beauty here. So that goes to the graveyard, and then I draw 1 card. Then this effect happens, this gets destroyed, but because scrap beast and scrap goblin have the effect of if they're destroyed by a scrap card effect, then I can also add 1 scrap monster from my graveyard to my hand. So I'll get scrap chimera, and plus it stops this one from being removed. Okay, so that's quite a complicated card, but it can work with pretty much anything that will destroy it. Say if they done dark hole, then you can just use that card basically, and you get 1 card because you draw, and then you can also gain another card if you do it right, like how I showed with scrap beast or scrap goblin and all that. Then I have the Book of Moons. These are just for defense really, because I do have quite some high attacking monsters, but they're not that high, and sometimes I want to try and maintain the field. Then the enemy controller. Enemy controller is very good right now. I used to play 3, but I reduced it to 2 because I thought 3 was a bit too much because I needed a few more other cards in there. Enemy controller is very good, not just for the first effect, so like I can change the battle position while face up monster on your opponent's side of the field, but also if someone summons, especially for shooting star dragon, someone summons Stardust or that formless synchron. I've got, say, a level Leah or a scrap beast on the field. I can do this, tribute that monster, and I can take control of their monster until their end phase. But I could do something like if it was on my turn, I could do this with with shooting star dragon. I could use this, take control of their shooting star dragon, because he can't negate this because I'm not doing anything to the actual shooting star dragon, like destroying it or anything. It's just not going to the graveyard, it's going to my side of the field. So I can just grab this, get the shooting star dragon. If I've got scrap dragon, blow shooting star dragon up. This is also good for shooting star dragon. Book of Moon him, he can't use his effects, he has to be face up. But yeah, that's pretty good because you can take control of their monsters, especially for scraps, because they're all about destruction and destroying cards. Then there's Monster Reincarnation, like I said earlier, Ditch Scrap Beast, Level ER, Treeborn Frog, all sorts of cards like that to get a Scrap Chimera back to my hand. So it doesn't matter if you ditch them. Monster Reborn, obviously to get cards back. Foolish Burial, mainly used for the Level Eater, Treeborn, and some of the scrap beasts. It's very good if you start off with a hand when you've got scrap chimera and you haven't got any like monsters into your graveyard that you can bring back with scrap chimera. So if you start off with this and scrap chimera in your hand, you're laughing really, because you foolish burial or scrap beast or whatever. Go into your graveyard, foolish burial it, scrap chimera, bring scrap beast, scrap dragon or scrap archfiend. Cold wave just for that protection to stop the spells and that. MST to also stop them, like the set cards. And reasoning, basically reasoning I'm not that sure, because it's very good because it gets stuff into the graveyard for me. Like the reasoning, basically your opponent will name a level of a monster. You'll keep going from your deck, picking the cards up from the top of your deck until you get a monster with either that level. If you get that level, it goes straight to the graveyard. Say if someone said 4 and I drew that, I could special summon that straight away because it's a level 5 and they didn't say level 5. But if it's a level 4, it has to go to the graveyard. Okay.